We're back again here with Chris Williams. On to our next segment. We're going to be talking about the industry and just a little bit of like what's been going on with it. Like there's this whole thing with K-pop groups coming up on the rise. More like industry-based musicians coming out, or hand-picked more like from people.
They're like engineered.
Yeah, like
rather
engineered
than like a
almost.
grassroots grown kind of passion thing.
And there's still like people like in the US where you've got just talented people coming out, or just people just practicing really hard and stuff like that, or just like on the topic of rappers and mumble rappers or whatever you call them. And we just we want to get your thoughts on it. I don't know how in touch you've been with all the music industries out there, such as K-pop or all that.
Rap, hip hop.
Yeah.
The popular
genres.
So
Yeah.
I guess we could start off with what's your take on the music industry as a whole right now in the US, I suppose?
As a musician.
Yeah.
As a musician, I'd say that the music industry is straight up business 101. There's no, all genuine music has kind of been lost. People don't make music anymore because they love music. They make it for money. It's pretty much all music. Most music is made for money nowadays. And now that being said, you can love the music you're making and make money, but I don't think that the initial intention of making the music anymore is from the heart. I think it is from the pocket. So yeah, it's really kind of been corrupted, I would say.
Are there any examples of artists you think that aren't corrupted, or
That aren't corrupted?
yeah, or any lighter hope? Because
It's so hard to say, because when you work with a producer and stuff and you write a song, it's hard to say if that was originally what they wanted it to sound like. But if the record label is like saying, no, we want you to sound like this. So it's hard for me to say exactly who I think is still playing the music they like, because who knows if it hasn't been morphed to some degree. And of course you're going to get morphed a little bit, because you're working with a producer, you're working with other musicians who have other influences, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But at the end of the day, as the artist, you want to be representing yourself how you thought it would sound. And so I couldn't tell you who I think is doing that. Maybe Jack White from the White Stripes. I think his sound has been pretty consistent with his style, and even though he's evolved and now he's gone solo, and then he's done the White Stripes and gone solo, and he's done so many other projects, I think he is a good example of someone who's really stayed true to himself, because he doesn't seem to, he's not a super pop name, I guess you could say. He's not like the biggest name that I guarantee everybody's heard of Jack White. It's not like Justin Bieber, or everybody's heard, or something like that. But I mean, most people know who he is to some degree. So I would say he's a good example.
So on the topic of the music industry, do you think that social media has affected the industry in any way? Because now that we have all these outlets coming out, social media, news, and stuff like that, they're all just covering a bunch of these musicians and celebrities. Do you think it's affected the artists in a way where they just have to keep this front going on and just be this image that the fans see? And you have some exceptions, such as Miley Cyrus, just coming out, just trying to be different from having her as Hannah Montana, and just trying to she actually had a reason. I don't know if it was
She tried to shed her
her
Disney image,
Yeah.
you could say.
I guess that's why she went through that whole wrecking ball and phase.
So I don't know if that was her idea or if it was a company's idea, but I would say those are one of the exceptions of spitting an image out in order to be able to expand more. But what do you think social media has on an effect of musicians or artists?
Well, for mainstream artists and big names, it is just a way to just keep promoting yourself and just letting people know you're there. And I feel like a lot of just the same content's just put out from the big mainstream artists. They're just like, yep, this is what we do. We already know all this stuff. We don't even need to see this because we've seen it so many times. For an independent artist and smaller people, it does make it easier to get your name out there because anything can go viral, honestly. Unfortunately, because of social media and so much, there's just a mass of material out there, you can get lost in everything, and the real art of it kind of disappears because anybody can be like, yeah, I'm going to go and cover a song real quick, and
It gets like 1 million views.
it gets like 1 million views, and like, yeah, I'm singing this Katy Perry song, but I'm going to do it my way. And you sound nice, but are you really singing something that you care about? No, you're singing a Katy Perry song or something like that. So it loses its connection to yourself when you do it through like doing covers and just to get millions of views.
So, with all that said, like, what are kind of some of the struggles you've gone through as a small independent musician that you're trying to get your music out there? So what kind of struggles have you gone through, and what are you doing to deal with them?
Well, the number one struggle that I face is that my genre of music, which I like to call my music's like the music for the hopeless romantic. So it's acoustic folk, singer songwriter, but I talk about a lot of about love and things like that. And I feel like I live in an area. The Bay Area is not very. I guess that's not the style of music that is the main thing here. Hip hop is the main thing here. DJs, live music in general in the Bay Area is not the top priority. Also, another thing that I think California in general or the Bay Area is everybody wants good vibes in their music. I feel good songs.
Yeah,
That's right.
And I don't write those kind of songs. Not to say that I don't write happy songs, but I write real songs. I write songs about the struggle of love and struggle of life and inner conflicts and conflicts you have with other people. And I feel that there's a lot of superficial things in the music that is popular.
So I want your take on K-pop, if you know it, and how industries are handpicking people out to form this group and just producing music. And I'm not sure if the people in the group produce their own music as well as the producers that they hire to help them make them. But what do you think about just like this,
Machine.
Yeah, this machine, this conveyor belt of artists coming out?
So as far as K-pop goes, it's interesting because I don't know groups in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard the style of music though, and the actual musicianship and the production of it's really good. It's very high quality musicianship. Now, whether or not the artist who's actually being represented played any of that is highly unlikely. But I think it is a cool concept from the K-pop I have heard. They're going back to this almost like a big band's like Earth, Wind and Fire kind of sound, 70s funk mixed with just pop, and it's really interesting because I've learned as I said, as a music teacher, and some people want to learn songs by K-pop artists, and it's kind of intricate. Some of the guitar parts are very intricate, and so I can appreciate the musicianship. I just don't know. The overall product seems very fake.
And we've seen a really huge rise in a band called BTS.
I've
They've been really big around like in Korea and especially in the US now. They've won like BMA awards and they've been booked all year round. People come around like from all the world just to like see them. And like their concerts, their tickets are like $700. Like it's crazy amount of money that they're putting this into. So how do you feel about just this, I would say quote unquote machine product conveyor belt that just came out? How do you feel about them being the lead of the music industry right now?
Well, I do think it could be seen as a machine, but at the same time, they're taking influences from people that weren't a machine. And so that is a good thing, because it will make people, when they hear that older music that they're kind of emulating, they'll like that as well. So there is a good thing about bringing back older styles, because it makes you appreciate that, the older artists again. Unfortunately, then we're not expanding, we're not growing, because we're doing old stuff. But I do think that K-pop and just getting bigger is really a testament to society, and the fact that diversity and how music can bring everybody together.
Yeah.
That is the one thing music can do. It can bring, no matter any difference, poor, rich, black, white, any diversity, it brings everybody together because everybody loves music.
So do you agree that music is kind of like a universal language?
For sure, universal. Music is definitely the universal language, because you could go to any country, and that's one thing where people get together. You see someone playing, you'll stop and watch them play.
You don't even need to understand the language.
Exactly, you don't.
Yeah, so there's like I've been on Instagram and I talk to some people. They're on there sometimes just for fun, and like a lot of people from like Germany, UK, and all that, they hear like artists like 21 Pilots, BTS, like from all around the area. They're just listening on these people, and like everyone's just like when you're on Instagram and you see a fan page and you just talk to them. You don't really know them, but once you get to know them, it turns out, they're from around the world. They're like all the way over here and there, and it just ends up bringing people together. And it also goes with the social media, how that also brings together people. That's what's good about it as well for the industry, is that it just brings everyone together, so everyone can just talk about it, know when these concerts are going to be coming out and all that stuff, and just all these fan groups. It definitely it helps the industry thrive. But yeah, I was just more so, what's going to come of the future of the music industry, whether or not things are going to be, more so about the money and more so, and less about, I would say, just the art and lyricism. But there are some people, some groups like are an exception, such as BTS. I think some of their music is, very lyrical focused. Some of them is just like just have fun and all that, but I think some of them actually do have a huge influence from one of the members, and that's really cool. But then you also have, like in the US, you have mumble rappers where they're just throwing stuff out there just to have a product, just have a portfolio. Yeah.
It's all about the beat.
It's all about the beat.
Like that.
It's not really about the lyrics anymore. It's more about the.
Going back to a point you said earlier, how you're a musician that writes hopelessly romantic kind of music. How do you feel about the kind of music you're playing in the area? Because I said in the Bay Area, people like DJ music, hip hop, mumble rap, and then you have Spanish music, which is like what the Latino community has.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that? You're coming out of a minority kind of music group.
I think that it presents a lot of problems to really get a head start. The thing is that I've played a lot of shows, and people always appreciate my ability to play. They might not like the style of music per se, but they like, they say, you sing well, play guitar really well. So they appreciate the effort it took for me to build what I'm doing, but they might not necessarily like the style of music, which is a cool thing, I guess. But it is a difficult thing, but also at the same time I stand out a little more too, because there isn't a lot of people who play my kind of music around here. So if at any point the scene around here kind of changes or slowly changes, I will have a big advantage.
Yeah.
One last question before we move on to the song. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's 13 or 10, or somebody who wants to pursue music as a career? Like they have a passion for, music expression, creation, and to them it isn't about the money or the industry. They just want to play music and that's what they love. What would you tell them, considering the industry and the environment we're in?
Practice a lot and really be true to yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that you should sound this way, you should sound that way. Be true to yourself and don't let anybody tell you not to dream, because the one thing about music is it is a dream and it is a very high risk. Nothing's going to come of it and you'll end up being broke. And a starving musician is a saying for a reason. But if you love it enough, just don't ever give up. Ever. You know.
One more thing. Sorry.
all
Where
good.
do you teach music at?
So right now I teach at a couple different places. At Fiat Music in Pinole, California, and I also teach at Alma Music in Orinda.
Okay.
And so I just teach like private lessons there. Guitar, piano, a little bit of singing, a little bit of everything.
Okay, cool. So because our viewers are local,
Yeah.
you know, that some of them who could be artists, you know, can reach you, go take a lesson, get some more wisdom.
You
Or
can
even
follow me
collab
on
with you.
Instagram.
Follow on
You can hit
Instagram.
me up, yeah.
All right, guys, want me to cut it off for the next segment?
For sure.
Okay.